Wait until I tell you who this lad is and what he did. Get a good look at him. Get a good look. He's got such a sweet little baby face. This is Arthur Aaron, and he's only 21 here. He was a flight sergeant in World War II. And I hadn't heard his story before, but he's from Leeds, which is where I am. So I came across his story. And you just sometimes you hear people's stories and you're just like, my God, I could never. So Arthur Aaron was awarded the VC, which is the Victoria Cross. There's only been, 1,358 people have ever received this award, and it's the highest award that you can get in the UK for acts of valour. So you know he's going to have done something brave, but just fucking hold on. I'm going to read you a printout from the London Gazette about what he actually did. All right, here we go. On the night of the 12th of August 1943, Flight Sergeant Aaron was captain and pilot of a Sterling aircraft detailed to attack Turin. While approaching the attack, the bomber received devastating bursts of fire from an enemy fighter. 3 engines were hit and the windscreen shattered. The front and rear turrets were put out of action and the elevator control damaged, causing the aircraft to become unstable and difficult to control. A navigator was killed and other members of the crew were wounded. A bullet struck Flight Sergeant Aaron in the face, breaking his jaw. He was also wounded in the lung and his right arm was rendered useless. So your boy he's messed up. As he fell forward over the control column, the aircraft dived several thousand feet. Control was regained by the flight engineer at 3,000 feet. Unable to speak, Flight Sergeant Aaron urged the bomb aimer by signs to take over the controls. Just to recap, his face is missing, his jaw has been blown off and his right arm doesn't work. Right, continuing. Course was then set southwards in an endeavour to fly the crippled bomber with one engine out of action to Sicily or North Africa. Flight Sergeant Aaron was assisted to the rear of the aircraft and treated with morphia, so he's stoned now as well. After resting some time, he rallied and, mindful of his responsibility as the captain of the aircraft, insisted on returning to the pilot's cockpit, where he was lifted into his seat and had his feet placed on the rudder bar. Twice he made determined attempts to take control and hold the aircraft to its course, but his weakness was evident and with difficulty he was persuaded to desist. Though in great pain and suffering from exhaustion, he continued to help by writing directions with his left hand. 5 hours after leaving the target, the petrol began to run low, but soon afterwards the flare path of the Bone airfield was sighted. Flight Sergeant Aaron summoned his failing strength to direct the bomb aimer in the hazardous task of landing the damaged aircraft in the darkness with the undercarriage retracted. 4 attempts were made under his direction. At the 5th, Flight Sergeant Aaron was so near to collapsing that he had to be restrained by the crew and the landing was completed by the bomb aimer. 9 hours after landing, Flight Sergeant Aaron died from exhaustion. Had he been content when grievously wounded to lie still and conserve his failing strength, he would probably have recovered. But he saw it as his duty to exert himself to the utmost, if necessary with his last breath, to ensure that his aircraft and crew did not fall into enemy hands. In appalling conditions, he showed the greatest qualities of courage, determination and leadership, and though wounded and dying, he set an example of devotion to duty which has seldom been equalled and never surpassed. Just, wow. I could never. And he was 21. He was 21. My God.